You are listening to 1252 Sports Entertainment. Parental discretion may be advised.
Woo! It's about that time. FatMike, Chicago Sports. Yeah. Woo. Finally here. Shot City Sports is right here. Updates on news, get it here. No rumors, cause we keep it real. FatMike. Woo. Sit back, relax, sugar beer, one of them nights.
Hey, this is Carmen DeFalco from ESPN Chicago, and you're listening to the FatMike Sports Show.
Hey, this is Dave Richard from ChicagoSports, and you're listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hi, this is Jesse Rogers from the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Merkin, the longtime White Sox beat writer for MLB.com and proud graduate of the University of Michigan. You're listening to me on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
This is Chuck Arfine, and you are listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. It's the best.
Hey, what's up? This is Greg Braggs Jr. from Braggs in the Stands, and you're listening to my guys on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. Boom!
Hey everyone, Fred Hubner from ESPN 1000. Great to be on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. I'm Dan Zaborski, senior writer for Fangraphs, and you're listening to FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
I'm JJ Stankovich from NBCSportsChicago.com and the Undercenter podcast, and you are listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey Sparkle, you know what I listen to? It's the FatMike Chicago Sports Show with my guy, Fat Mike. If you listen anywhere else, no shock. Listen to Fat Mike. The best.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. Hey. It's been a couple weeks since we've been here, and I'm happy to be back. I'm really happy to be back. Like I said, it's been a few weeks, and a lot of things have changed. My health is finally starting to kick in a little bit. I'm gonna be back and forth a little bit. I forgot a bunch of stuff over there at the main desk. So I'll be here, but you'll still hear me. But a lot of big things have happened here in Chicago over the last couple of weeks. The Bears finished 3-14 on the season. What does that mean going forward? The Bears did a pretty damn good job this year in what they were supposed to do. You may not think so. You might not believe it. But the Bears ended up with the number 1 overall pick. Now, what does that mean exactly? What that means is the Bears get the pick first in this upcoming draft. Holy moly. The options that they have with teams that need a quarterback, with teams that need to boost up and get their stuff done, the Bears control the draft, which is unbelievable. The Bears control the draft. And the Bears also control free agency, having $125 million in cap space. I cannot wait for this offseason. I cannot wait to see what the Bears do. It's going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, for the first time in my life, the Bears better not screw this up. And there we go. So here I am, the FatMike Chicago Sports Show, live at the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill Studios here in beautiful downtown Lockport. The Whistle Sports Bar and Grill 159 Studios, again, in beautiful downtown Lockport. Without the Whistle, none of this would happen. We've been at the Whistle the last couple months doing pregame shows, halftime shows, and postgame shows. If you guys haven't been there, get your butts on down there because that place is absolutely amazing. Unbelievable food, extremely cold beer. They got this thing called the Hunch Punch. If you guys haven't heard of it, if you guys haven't had it, you better get your butts on down there and get you some because it's unbelievable. But the Bears, I mean, what do I got to say? I'll be right back. Let me grab my notes. You guys just hang on tight a second. Let me grab my notes. I'm back. See, I'm back. We got a bunch of stuff here that we got to get into. So in the pregame, in the presser of what we're doing tonight, we're talking about the Bears offseason outlook 2023. But I want to talk about the Bears recap as well. For the first time in a long time, the Bears hold the first overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. After finishing dead last, 3-14. Oof. Rough year. It was a rough year. With a 10-game losing streak. Very rough year. But there were some bright spots in this year if you sit back and take a moment and view the Bears as a whole. And I'm going to go in order. A lot of you guys may not like him. But that being said, he's done an awful lot of good for this Bears team this year. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, as always, at this shithole. Okay? I love the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill, but our internet system here fucking blows. Thank you, Prima Real Estate Group. I will never sponsor you guys ever. Your guys' Wi-Fi and your guys' connection sucks my left nut. But that being said, it all starts off with Ryan Poles. The new regime begins with Ryan Poles. The Bears finally placed a football guy in the chair where football decisions are made. And that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. And I think that deserves a round of applause. That definitely deserves a round of applause. The reason why Ryan Poles got this job is because of the fact that he told the Chicago Bears front office exactly what he was going to do. I'm going to blow it up, and I'm going to get us on the right track. I'm going to finally put this train on the rails. And it's exactly what he did. He comes in here, and the very first move that he makes is that he trades Khalil Mack to the Chargers for a 2022 second round and a 2023 sixth round pick. That equals into Jaquan Brisker. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Then he goes off and trades Robert Quinn to the Eagles for a 2023 fourth round pick. I'll take that. Thank you. And then lastly but surely, he trades Roquan Smith to the Ravens for a 2023 second round pick and a 2023 fifth round pick. When you weren't going to re-sign him anyways. Now, all that being said, what good is Mack? What good is Robert Quinn? And what good is Roquan Smith when regardless you're going to be a middle of the pack team. Even with those guys, you're a middle of the pack team. You're no good. You're no good. Draft capital at this point is what you need when your team stinks. This team stinks, guys. They stink. They don't have anybody of caliber to play legitimately in today's NFL. They have some guys. Jaquan Brisker, yeah, they're draft picks. Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, Gibson, whatever. I get it. But draft capital is what you needed, and you got it. And yes, this helped the Bears to free up cap space as well. And now they have a ton of it. The Bears have a ton of cap space. Right now, they're sitting at $124 million in cap space with 8 picks in this year's draft, one of them being the number 1 pick. And if and when they free up Cody Whitehair, that's $11 million saved. They'll have $135 million in cap space. What to do with the most money in the NFL? What to do with the number 1 pick? Seriously, what do you do? The Bears hold all the cards. What is the eager, young GM looking to prove himself for the Chicago Bears going to do? So many questions being asked, so many questions being answered by people who don't know shit. There's a bunch of stuff. Now, when we recap the 2022-2023 season, there were some very, very good things that happened that Ryan Poles is not getting credit for. Don't forget that he went out there and got Brisker, Jaquan Brisker, and Kyler Gordon. Or Braxton Jones, who played every single snap this year as a 5th-round pick. Those are huge, huge, huge pieces. Velus Jones, whatever the hell you want to, Velvet Jones, whatever you want to call him, he's a poop dick in my opinion. He doesn't matter to me at all. All right, he's a miss. But 3 of the picks that he has are going to be continuous throughout the tenure with Ryan Poles. With the highest upside, in my opinion, the highest upside being on Braxton Jones. You finally got something there. You hit on a late round pick, and he may possibly be the guy for the next 5 to 10 years. I like Braxton Jones. I see his ceiling being astronomical for the Chicago Bears. So he did do some good in his first year, Ryan Poles. And there's a lot of talk here on Chicago Sports Radio, whether it be on the big wigs at ESPN, whether it be on the big wigs at 670 The Score, they're saying that Ryan Poles has a lot to prove this offseason. I think Ryan Poles already proved it. He found 3 guys out of talent that he didn't have, and he made them players. Or he found players is a better way of putting it. He found guys in this last year's draft that can play in Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, and Braxton Jones. And now he's got another big upside swing here with 8 picks in this draft, one of them being the number 1. A lot of decisions to be made with that number 1 pick. Yesterday, we heard that Ryan Poles loves Justin Fields, and Justin Fields is the guy going forward. If that's the case, I'm all about it. Make sure you do it. Make sure you protect him. You have $124 million, and he's your number one pick. He's your guy. Make sure you staple some guys around him. There's a lot of logical trade options. The logical opinion is to trade down in the draft. Arizona at 3, Indy at 4, Vegas at 7, Houston at 12, so on and so forth. I'm extending that one a little bit with Houston at 12. But there are plenty of options. And for a team that was 1-7 in one-score games this year, how far off the beaten path are they? Can they be a legit team next year going into 2023? I'm one of the believers that think they can. Call me crazy. Fine, whatever. I know their defense has stunk this year. I know their offensive line was not good this year. Offensive line, giving up the most sacks all year. Defensive line, least amount of sacks all year. Kyler Gordon led your team in sacks this year. Kyler Gordon, rookie, 4 sacks. Not a part of the offensive line, part of the secondary. It's not good, guys. It's not good. That being said, they were 1-7 in one-score games this year. That means they could have won a couple of games. They could have won a few more of those games. The defense needs the defensive needs, they worked this year in Gordon and Brisker. They look good as playing time built up underneath their belt. They definitely did look good. Calm down on this mock draft stuff. And we're going to get into that. Now, going into the offseason here, like I said, this year we saw a lot of things out of this Bears team. We saw that the running game can be awesome with David Montgomery, Ebner, with Khalil Herbert, and Justin Fields back there. We also saw that Justin Fields, out of his like kind of comfortability zone, can run the ball. We saw him at Ohio State. He was not that guy. Justin Fields at Ohio State was a guy that sat back in the pocket with a stud offensive line and threw for a bazillion yards and threw for a ton of touchdowns. This year, broken up offensive line towards the later half of the year, a terrible offensive line, and he still got it done. He still kept the Bears in games. Only a couple blowouts. I get it. Yeah, there's some blowouts. You have bad weeks. Justin Fields is still learning. But Luke Getsy took him under his wing, and boy, oh boy, did that kid fly. And I think Justin Fields is the guy going forward. I really do. Going into this offseason, Bears have a lot of money on the free agent side. Have a lot of money. And I don't want to see the Bears in the draft a single offensive lineman. You have $124 million right now. When you release Cody Whitehair, you're going to have 135. Yeah, whatever. Okay? Where do the Bears lack on their team? 20. They have 20 holes. Out of 22 positions, they have 20 holes. They need a linebacker. They need defensive line. They need offensive line. They need a wide receiver. They need a running back. They need so on and so forth. I get it. This year especially is a big year for the Bears. Because it just so happens within the amount of money that you have, there's a lot of offensive linemen available. And you can buy those offensive linemen because you have all this money. And your defensive line, where you only accumulated 20 sacks the entire year, you can buy some defensive linemen. Out of the $134 million the Bears will eventually have, right? Out of $135 million, $135 million that the Bears will eventually have when it comes time to sign free agents, there are a lot of pieces available on the offensive line, on the defensive line. On the offensive line, let's start there. Let's start to protect your main asset. Let's start to protect your number one pick from last year in Justin Fields, a guy that you're going to run with and ride with throughout the course of his 5-year contract here, the 5-year rookie contract. Right now it sits, you have 2 legitimate linemen, Braxton Jones, who showed that he can play every single snap that you throw at him this year, and Tevin Jenkins, if he decides to stay healthy. I love the Tevin Jenkins pick when it happened. Right now, I'm not too happy with Tevin Jenkins. Still, hopefully he can prove me wrong. I made a decision on him early. Not a fan of him right now. Hopefully, he can get his shit together and become a team player. So right now you have a guard and a tackle is what you have. So you need another tackle, 2 guards, and a center. You need 3 offensive linemen. Here we go. My number 1 offseason pickup for the Bears, Orlando Brown Jr. Come on, guys. It's not night and day. Everybody knows this. Orlando Brown Jr. is a stud out of KC, left tackle, 26 years old. He does the job. Got a big deal out there with KC, doing his thing. He could still be a big deal here in Chicago. My other one, Matt Pryor, guard, out of Indy. Matt Pryor has been good for the last 4 years. 28 years old, unbelievable, should be Pro Bowler. I don't know what the hell's going on there. He should be there. My number 2B is Mike McGlinchey out of San Francisco. Right tackle. 28 years old, a guy that everybody needs to focus on this upcoming offseason. If there's a tackle that you want, he's one of them. He's one of those guys you definitely need on your team. Smart, non-penalized, goes up and beats up the defensive opponent. Pancakes galore, strong, fast, quick on his feet, quick like a cat. He's one of those guys. The other guy that I really like is the center from Minnesota, Garrett Bradbury. He's 28 years old. A guy that you can sign, not spend a ton of money on. He's one of those guys that you sign him here for a 4-year deal. He's here to play out the rest of his career, and he's a guy. He's not going to hurt you. There's also a couple of those guys in the draft, and we'll get to that a little bit later. That's what I like to see. I want to see the Bears spend a lot of money on the offensive line this year because you're getting a proven guy. You're not taking a chance on a guy like Skoronski out of Northwestern. I want to see that. I want to see the Bears go out and draft proven talent on the offensive line. Not go out and draft somebody who's a hit or miss type of guy. That's what I want to see. On the defensive side of the ball, now, like I said, we've dealt with this all year long. The Bears cannot get to the quarterback at all. There are some big names on the defensive side of the ball that can get the Bears to where they need to be. And if this happens, which I think Ryan Poles, honestly, is going to think of first and foremost, because Justin Field in the running game looked pretty damn good this year. And if you get a solid weapon at wide receiver, you'll be okay. I think he's going to lean towards defense. It's my gut feeling. But on the defensive side of the ball, there are a couple players that I definitely want the Bears to look at, and a couple of the guys that I want the Bears to get. Two for sure that I want the Bears to look at. One, 100%, I want the Bears to sign. And that's Yannick Ngakoue. He was in Jacksonville for a couple of years, in Indy right now, 28 years old, defensive end, causes havoc and chaos all over the field. He is one of those guys that gets to the quarterback, that demands a double team, and creates mistakes in the secondary. Mistakes in the secondary meaning he makes the quarterback throw the ball where he doesn't want to throw the ball. Yannick Ngakoue is a stud. This is a guy that I want the Bears to go after. He's a guy. I want him. He's a guy that I want right now. Harry Berg, our guy from the Over Under podcast, is saying DeForest Buckner, sign him now. Well, DeForest Buckner, Harry, is not a guy that's available to sign. It's a trade guy. He's a trade guy. But Yannick Ngakoue is a guy that I definitely want. Another guy that intrigues me, this is legit, is John Hargrave. John Hargrave, defensive tackle out of Philly. 30 years old. He's going to be up. He has not been signed. 30 years old. Again, creates a bunch of havoc. This year, 11 sacks for Javon Hargrave. He gets in there. He does the dirty work. He creates pressure. He stops the run. He is a beast on the interior defensive line. That's a guy that I want. Another one. That's my 1A and 2. That's my 1 and 2. My number 3 is Dwayne Smoot out of Jacksonville. Dwayne Smoot, defensive end. I mean, this kid is everything that you want him to be. 28 years old, full of piss and vinegar. Mean streak like no other. He's a guy that I want. Is Jacksonville willing to part with him? Who knows? Is Jacksonville not going to sign him? Who knows? But I would do anything in my power to go after this kid. 28 years old, fast off the edge, does his thing. The kid's a beast. Smooth. Harry Berg says it himself. The kid's a monster. Absolute monster. One of these guys that intrigues me here a little bit, and it's a guy that the Bears went after in the offseason of this past year. Signed with Pittsburgh is Larry Ogunjobi, defensive tackle, interior offensive lineman. Larry Ogunjobi had a pretty solid year this year. Couldn't pass a physical for the Bears, but still did a damn good job out there in Pittsburgh. Okay? Did a pretty damn good job out there in Pittsburgh. Across from T.J. Watt and everybody else over there on that monstrous D line out there. He's one of those guys that I would definitely try to regain. Because I think Dwayne Smoot on this defensive line would have made a big difference this last year for the Chicago Bears. And last but not least, the guy that I really like here, and it's because he's young, and it's because he's a little unproven, he's raw, and he has talent, is I like the defensive end out of the Vegas Raiders, and there's not much I like on the Vegas Raiders, is Clelin Ferrell. Clelin Ferrell. He's very, very, very fast and very strong. And when he has played this year, he's excelled. He's looked exceptional for the Vegas Raiders this year. Do yourself a favor and look at some of the highlight tape on this kid this last year, because the kid looks, if you look at his highlight tape, the kid's tape looks like he could be a Pro Bowler. Has a bunch of tackles in the backfield, a couple of sacks, but he's strong and he's fast. And I think you can pin him on one of the ends and not have to worry about that end. He's one of those guys that I think you could play every day, every Sunday, 3 downs, 4 downs a game, and not have to worry about that position. He's one of those guys. Guys, we're going to take a quick little break here. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about what exactly I expect for the Bears next year. Okay? Because there's a lot that I expect. And I want the Bears to do good. So on that note, I'll be right back.
Stagecoach in Lockport has a unique menu from fresh salads and burgers to venison and steak sandwiches. We feature plenty of appetizers and desserts for a perfect way to start or end your meal. Come into our country western bar and dining room or relax outside on our patio sitting in the heart of downtown Lockport on State Street. We can accommodate both small gatherings and large parties. Offering 16 different beers on tap, frozen margaritas, an extensive bourbon and whiskey menu, and our famous Bloody Marys, you cannot go wrong at Stagecoach. And if you're feeling lucky, come try DJ Bingo on Tuesdays or our Big Pay slot machines all week. Stagecoach is located at 1028 South State Street in Lockport, Illinois. Everyone is a friend at Stagecoach. Hope to see y'all soon.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the FatMike Chicago Sports Show as well as the 1252 brand, because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend, or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's N-I-K-I-V-Y brewing.com. Come in today for fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
All right. We're back. Thank you so much to our sponsors over there, Coach's Corner, Nick and Ivy Brewing, and Jonathan Darren, Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. You guys are the best. Again, we are live here at the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill, 159 Studios. And again, without all of our sponsors here at 1252, none of this would be possible. None of this would be happening. And I'm a very fortunate person here at 1252. I love this. This is fantastic. This is, a hobby turned into a job. And I fucking love it. So there's nothing you can, I love it. This is unbelievable. So now I wanted to, before we left for break, wanted to tell you about the Bears and what I think is going to happen in 2023. There's a lot of things that can happen. One that we didn't touch on, I know that we touched on the draft stuff a little bit, but the Bears have plenty of options here and what they can do. What do you do as the GM of the Chicago Bears? What do you do as Ryan Poles, sitting with the number 1 overall pick? You don't need a quarterback. You don't need it. You got Justin Fields. This kid is going to be the real deal. I said it 2 years ago when I went down to camp. I thought this kid was the real deal. Now, again, that being said, I know everybody's going to start chirping like birds, blah, 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 chirp, chirp, chirp. I was not happy when the Bears initially picked Justin Fields because you still had Mitch Trubisky. And what was the point of drafting a quarterback if he was not going to be an immediate starter and an immediate impact for your team? I'm always thinking about now, right now. What can the Bears do for me now? The next pick, they draft Tevin Jenkins. And I was happier than a pig in shit. That means they were going after it. Mitch Trubisky's gone, and I'm happy. That was still the greatest day of me being a Bears fan is the day that Mitch Trubisky was fucking gone. I was so sick of that. He sucks. God, that guy sucks. Mike North, I love you, buddy. But Mitch Trubisky sucks a fat egg. He's terrible. That dude blows. But when the Bears did that and they drafted Justin Fields, I was in a rage. Everybody knows it. It's common knowledge at this point. I was not a happy camper. They go out and get Tevin Jenkins. I immediately calmed down. Cool. Awesome. But now what do the Bears do with this number 1 overall pick? Logically, they trade down, right? They have no need for the kid in Alabama. They have no need for the kid in Ohio State. They don't need these guys. They have Justin Fields. So you can trade down to Arizona, who's not looking for a quarterback, but possibly looking for a defense, which means Will Anderson would be out of the door. Or possibly Jalen, whatever his nuts is out the door. That would suck. These are the 2 highest touted defensive players in this year's draft. Indy, who needs a quarterback, at 4. You got Vegas at 7, where everything says that the Vegas Raiders are moving on from Carr. And you could possibly move on down a little bit later as a hypothetical to Houston at 12. Houston has 2 and 12. They have 2 of the top 15 picks. Now, what do I do if I'm Ryan Poles? What do I do if I'm Ryan Poles? Now, guys, this is just an opinion. I want to make this straight and forward. It's just an opinion. I try to trade this to Indy. Indy right now is in shambles. They have, I mean, look at their last 4 years. Ever since Andrew Luck retired, they have been without a quarterback. They tried it out with Phillip Rivers. They tried it out with Carson Wentz. They tried it out this year with Matt Ryan. They stink. They need a quarterback. Is the kid from Alabama? Is the kid from Ohio State the guy? I don't know. That's their decision to make. If they think he's a highly touted prospect and they think he is a decision-making, franchise-changing quarterback, let them give you the works. You can possibly snake out of this with the 4th overall pick, their 2nd overall pick, a first for next year, and a first for the year after that, which would give the Bears 2 first rounds over the next 2 years. Ryan Poles, we've seen this. We have already seen this before. He is a pick-hungry GM. Yes, you make this trade. You make this trade. You go out and get what you need. The Bears have all of it right now. They are in the best position possible. The best position possible. Sitting there, I mean, they are fat and sassy in their pool of awesomeness. They have all the money this offseason, and they hold the number 1 pick. If you don't think that's something special, you're out of your mind. That's the intriguing one that I go with. Okay, fine. You make that trade, right? You make the trade for the number 4 and their number 1 next year, their number 2 this year. What do you do with that number 4? As much as I want Will Anderson Jr., and if he's there, I'm grabbing him. If he's not there, Jalen Carter is his name. I'm sorry, Jalen Carter. If he's not there, if those guys aren't there, move down to 7 with the Vegas Raiders and take their first, their 7th, which the first pick, 7th overall. Take their 2nd and take their first for next year. Now you have 3 number 1s for next year, 3 number 2s for next year, and 3 number 2s in this year's draft. Those are some big moves. And like I said, we all know Ryan Poles is a whore for picks at this point by giving up what he gave up for Khalil Mack, what he gave up for Robert Quinn, what he gave up for Roquan Smith. He's a whore for picks, and I love it. I love it. You be that whore, Ryan Poles. You be that whore for picks. Because it's about time we have a football guy doing fucking something for this Bears team. Draft capital is what you need when you stink. But if he does that, then what? Okay, so you miss out on Jalen Carter. You miss out on Will Anderson Jr. What's the other glaring hole that the Bears need? Defensive line, obviously, your top 2 are gone. Offensive line, you got plenty of money to sign everybody that I just said. Plenty of money between Orlando Brown, Matt Pryor, Mike McGlinchey, Garrett Bradbury. You can sign all 4 of those guys with all that money. What's your other glaring hole? Wide receiver. Wide out. Wide out. Wide out. And there's plenty of them there. Quentin Johnston, TCU. Jordan Addison, USC. There's plenty of guys out there that the Bears would love to throw right in the mix and be a part of this offense. That can be a huge part of this offense. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? The draft is what we're waiting for. The draft is a big thing, guys. It's one of my favorite times of the year. You got baseball coming right around the corner. Pitchers and catchers are already reporting, and then a draft comes about. Usually every draft day I'm grilling. Usually every draft day it's usually a nice day here in Chicago. I'm usually grilling. Last year I was making burgers. The year before, 2017, when the Bears moved up and I thought they were grabbing Deshaun Watson or Mahomes, and when they drafted that piece of shit Trubisky, I was grilling steaks. I was ready to throw my grill off a 2-story balcony. That's a true story. A lot of stuff can happen, guys. A lot of stuff can happen. And you as Bear fans, us as Bear fans, we as Bear fans should be extremely happy of what we have here. All the money that we can ask for coming into the offseason, thanks to Ryan Poles. 8 draft picks going into this draft. The number 1, especially, in due part because of Ryan Poles. We finally got a football guy making football decisions. And that's what you need to be happy about. Be happy that we finally have a guy. That we finally have a guy that knows what the fuck he's doing. Or at least it seems like it. You have to be intrigued on what the future is of the Chicago Bears. It's going to be an exciting time. The next 3 years of the Chicago Bears is going to be a very, very, very exciting time. I can't wait to witness it. This year alone, even though they went 3-14, I was a happy camper sitting there watching the progression of Justin Fields, watching how he can change the game with his legs, even though I watched a lot of snaps in him at Ohio State sit back and be a pocket passer. Justin Fields is the make or break here. And now they have to get something around him to where he can succeed. There's a wide receiver out there. There's a wide receiver in USC. There's a wide receiver at TCU. There's a bunch of offensive linemen out there. There's a bunch of defensive linemen out there. Any way you can make Justin Fields' job easier, you do it. Whether it be giving him the ball or having him keep the ball. Make it easy on him. And I think Ryan Poles understands that. I really do. Guys, I appreciate all the time that you guys gave me tonight. Thank you so much. Sorry I'm still hoarse. I'm still getting over getting sick. I'm getting there. I feel like shit, but I'm getting there. But thank you guys. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the week. We have Harry coming up on Sunday morning. I think Friday night Harry's going to be back here talking about all the playoff games. We don't know about that. Keep a look on the 1252 show, on the 1252 spot, and let us know. We'll let you know what's going on. But then also stay tuned for everything that we got going on. Freddie's back on Monday night. We're going to have a big old party at his house on Saturday and on Sunday, hanging out, watching the games, having a fun time. And it's going to be a blast. It's going to be great. So make sure you guys are here. Make sure you guys are paying attention to us. And thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout the Bears year. And you guys are fantastic. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening to 1252 Sports Chicago.